How about another round for Brewsday Tuesday? Here is Huck and Big Nate.
Well, that's like silent.
Oh, you clipped me. I was so proud I successfully opened the beer on the first try. I almost forgot to duck.
Yeah, that's right. Duck. I always like these things where the guy yells duck, and the guy looks at him, the big duck whacks him in the head. Oh,
You always got to keep your head on a swivel. You never know when a duck's going to attack you.
these darn ducks.
Welcome into another round of Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store. And I think Huck had another trick up his sleeve, so I'm going to let him take it away. What do we have here, Huck?
All right, so I was like shopping. Again, the warmer weather has got me fixated on keeping it. So this one is all my millennial friends are always talking about their feels. And this beer from Dogfish Head, this is like 2 weeks in a row, Sunday Feels. And it has like a pink unicorn, I don't know what it is, with beer and a shark's fin. It's floating in the water and a drink with an orange in it that looks summery. So I said, I'm going to get that.
Is that the one that they're calling a beer mosa sour?
Yes. As you say that, I realize that's what it is.
Yeah, I kept seeing it and almost picking it up. So I'm really glad that you went ahead and pulled the trigger for us. So now I can actually determine whether or not this, because it looks interesting, and I'm excited to hear what you think. I've got the Stillwater Extra Dry Chew High. Hope that's what that says. I don't know. There's some Japanese letters on the side. On the back, you get a little more info. Extra Dry Chew High inspired Saison Ale with red grapefruit, 4.2% ABV. So it's not going to put you over the line. And grapefruit's always a favorite flavor of mine, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah, Stillwater, we talked about, I don't know if it's last week, but we've talked about Gypsy Brewer, and Stillwater is a Gypsy Brewer. They did actually open up a brewery, and they have a bar in Baltimore that's a must-see. They found an old bar top in Baltimore somewhere that was like half of a giant tree, and they cleaned it up and built this whole thing around that countertop, and it's worth a look. My recollection is they had about 17 of their beers and about 13 other people's beers. They were all good. The food was a little skimpy and a little pricey. Now, It was delicious. I ordered like Melba toast with pate on it, like goose pate, and it was like, when you break a graham cracker up and there's 4 pieces.
That's what the 4 pieces of the Melba toast.
Yeah, that was the Melba toast. I was like, it was like $17. I was like, it was delicious, but I was like, come on.
Trying to remember the last time I went to a brewery for the food.
Well, it used to be no breweries had food. Then they had food trucks, and I saw where the Moon Brewery over here towards Blacksburg is putting, actually, I don't know if they're doing it, but this restaurant, the food truck that's been there is opening a restaurant there.
Well, that's like a Longway in Radford. They've had rotating food trucks every week, and like it's been a different one, which I think is the way to do it, because then you don't have to worry about that. The food truck owners can worry about that, and you can just focus on the beer.
Yeah, and when we were traveling around this over New Year's, man, we hit some breweries with some really excellent food trucks. I mean, really excellent. A lot of your food trucks, I mean, I don't know why, but it seems like the food is so much better. I guess because you're really one-on-one with the cook, and they don't want to mess you up, and you're going to sit and eat it right in front of them too. Whereas in a restaurant, you can take out, or you're out in there, and you're not really facing the cook.
I don't think I've had I've never been to a food truck and been like, this kind of sucks. I will say there's one that I feel like they're just kind of phoning it in. They're in the area, and their specialty is essentially what you would eat if you were in kindergarten. It's like grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese sandwich, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love a good grilled cheese, and they do good work, but
yeah, I
feel like I've never thought, hey, I make really good scrambled eggs. I need to take this show on the road.
Oh, yeah, with that scrambled egg truck. Or the cereal truck. Yeah, that's what I do. We have Trix, we have Rice Krispies,
and I mean, I'm sure they do well, because every time I see them out and about, there's always a line. And like I said, the food was good. It's just, how do you decide? Like, man, I'm real good at these grilled cheese.
Well, you should try grilled peanut butter and jelly.
I've not grilled
It's a little
peanut
messy.
butter and jelly, but peanut butter, the way it melts, you get the crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah.
That was
I don't do crunchy. No.
That was one of the first things I ever cooked for myself. Was
smooth only.
I can't. Smooth makes me feel like I'm going to suffocate. I'm
Well,
real
crunchy
particular
makes
about
me
peanut butter.
think somebody put something in my peanut butter.
The crazy part, you want to learn something?
Sure.
This is something I learned very recently.
Okay.
They don't like half blend the crunchy peanut butter.
No, they add nuts.
They add it to the smooth.
Yeah.
And that blows my mind. Like,
yeah,
you could just stop like partway through, scoop out the crunchy, and then keep going for the smooth.
I mean, I don't like the crunchy peanut butter, but if I get a sundae I'm putting nuts on it, right? What's the difference? I don't know, but I hate crunchy peanut butter.
No, I get it. I'm very particular.
Okay, let me ask you, boiled peanuts.
I've never in my life had boiled peanuts.
Don't. Okay, I'm just gonna.
But every time I go into a store that they've got it, it's a gas station.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, this is not where I'm going to roll these dice.
You're not playing that one?
Not the place. Just like you wouldn't get sushi from a gas station. Because they just sit in that big crock pot. You have no idea how long those nuts have been in there.
That's what she said. So in New Orleans, that's the best place to get a po' boy, though, is a gas station, believe it or not. So yeah. I've tasted them once a long time ago, but I see people go in there and like you'll be getting gas in South Carolina, and somebody will come in and go, "Oh, you got those great," and they'll like fill up buckets of them, take them to the car. I'm like, what the is wrong with you people?
Yeah, I've definitely seen some questionable decisions play out in gas stations.
Oh yeah. I tell you. Yeah, we don't even want to talk about gas prices. There's a debate on why they went up, and a lot of us have feelings.
See, times like now are why I'm thankful my commute's only like 5 miles.
Right. Well, I got an RV.
I fill up twice a month,
and it's 65 cents higher than it was beginning of the year.
What's the capacity of a gas tank on an RV? Because like I know when we take the bear van out, it's like a good like half-hour endeavor waiting on the damn thing to fill up.
The RV2 had a 50-gallon tank. The new RV, the RV3, Beer V3, 75-gallon tank. I rarely fill it up because, and I'll probably never fill it up now, is they cut you off at $90 to $100. They won't let you buy more than that gas on one swipe of your credit card. And I'll be damned if I'm going to swipe my card again.
Yeah.
After you cut me off and the last gallon went by and it ding, ding, ding. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So I'll go somewhere else.
I did not. I mean, I've never bought that much gas, but I did not know that they would cut you off. That's absurd.
Well, the good news is that the crapper also holds 75 gallons.
Got to balance it out.
You got to balance it out. So yeah, the Winnebago is a really well built RV. I will say that. And it's 15 years old, and it's not the top of the line. It's actually, when I pulled it into the beach down there in Alabama at the fancy $200 night campground that's on the beach, I was like tiny. But if I go to Claytor Lake, I'm a big guy. It just depends on where you are.
I mean, Winnebago is the only RV company I can name offhand.
Well, you tell me that the guy that does the electronics
is Amish.
You told me that. He's Amish.
Okay, did I? Yeah.
But everything in there
fascinating.
Works really well. I mean,
I think that was like he left on his Rumspringa and decided he really liked tinkering around with electronics. And I was like, well, I got to find a loophole here. And he did, because he's now the engineer at Winnebago.
The other thing is about RVs is they're all the same. The parts are all interchangeable. The furnaces are the same, the refrigerators, everything. And I mean, there's different sizes and shapes of them, but the same people make them all.
I think that would make life simpler if cars were like that too.
Well, I mean, they all look like these days, they look like one of those Honda Cubes or whatever now.
Yeah, I don't.
They're getting more and more alike.
I don't get the square, like the more boxy look.
Well, there's a whole huge argument on the Jeep TJ page, which I am a proud TJ owner, is like the Jeep Wave. So, I try waving at every Jeep. Now, if you got the Jeep with the X on the taillights, and nothing personal, but sorry, that's not. I can't even tell it's a Jeep.
Yeah, those things look weird.
Yeah, if you have a regular, if you have a non-Wrangler, at least put a roof rack, jack it up, do something so I can know that you're cool about a Jeep. But the people with the 4-door Jeeps, they won't wave at anybody. They're like the Humvee people. Who needs them?
I'm looking out at my wife's Jeep in the parking lot, just thinking.
But the radio
he's
station
right.
Jeep, though, that's a cool Jeep. Of course, now they got to change the name. It's Cherokee.
That thing, I'm not sure it runs.
Oh man, you ought to let me have that, and
I
I'll
haven't
jack
seen
it up.
move. I don't know. The battery keeps dying in it, and I just put a new battery in that thing like 2 years ago. So
No, that's not just these days. You know, the batteries that run the coach and the RV only last like a year.
I just replaced the battery in my car for the first time since I bought it in 2013.
Well, the Winnebago, when I bought it, had 8-year-old battery under the hood and 11-year-old batteries in the coach, and they both ran a little bit.
I expect things to run for a long time. If I'm going to be paying $120 for a battery, I want it to last.
All right, fair enough. You could get a solar panel. I don't know. Maybe that would help.
Put it on my roof rack.
There you go.
All right, we're solving problems. So you're drinking the Dogfish Head, and I want to know how it is.
You know, we discussed my aversion to sours. This one's pretty darn good. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I'm just going to come right off.
4.5.
Yeah, this is good. This is interesting.
That's strong praise.
This may be, except it's in a bottle, but this may be a river beer for me. You know, somehow the sours don't seem as weighing you down when you're on the river.
No, they definitely don't.
My niece we'll go on the river. We got her into kayaking. Now she lives in South Carolina. She's kayaking right now, probably this weekend. I mean, she went every weekend through Christmas. I'm like, that really sucks to not be you.
I love the sours, but I have a hard time like comparing them to beer.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like candy. And we talked about this back on.
This one's not.
Valentine's
This
Day.
one's dry. It's
more
nice.
like candy. Speaking of dry, the Stillwater extra dry Chuhai. It's their Chuhai inspired saison ale with red grapefruit.
Chuhai. That's something you're saying that not quite right.
I'm positive I'm not saying it right.
Let me see that.
CHU dash or hyphen HI.
Yeah, it's probably chai.
Chai.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
He's confiscated my can. I'm no longer allowed to read it.
Can't have it.
It's delicious. It is extra dry. It's really light. Like there's no heaviness to it at all, which is weird for a saison. Usually those tend to weigh on me a little more heavy.
Oh, they're pretty light. I mean, it's a farm ale.
Well, I think they have a lot more spices in them usually. I think that's where it hits me. This is really good. I go 4.25 on it. Oh, by the way, on Untapped. He's Huck's Beer Buzz. I'm Horror Show Radio, and
Untapped is a platform on an app that you can rate your beers. You can find out where beers are. A lot of beer places. I have all their beers on there. And then if you forget what you drank and your friend drank it and checked it in, you can go find that. Or if you forget what we drank, you can go
it is really
find
helpful.
that.
It'll also tell you where you can get it locally, which is just phenomenal.
Right. And if you like a beer and you're like, let me know when this is available, it'll let you know. I did that with the Hop Slam this year.
Highly recommend Untapped. Highly recommend you enjoy more Brewsday Tuesdays with Huck and I.
There you go.
You're going to be back again next week?
Yeah, and that St. Patty's Day week?
Yeah, we're going to have to go out big for St. Patty's Day.
I'm still working on, I think it's going to have to be liquor.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thank you very much again for joining me on this Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store. I'll be back next week on 105.3 The Bear.